My boy Trey said he tired. He tired of these refs. He tired of these analysts. He's tired of the media. He's tired of players that are tall and that's all. He's tired of a lot. Being from a small city, and he's tired of people taking his Atlanta team for granted. Come on in here, let's talk about it. What it do, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And while you in here, hit that like, comment, subscribe, notification bell so you can be notified every time Her Takes uploads a new video. All right, let's get it. Yeah, Trey has been busy this offseason. He was on podcast P, and he was recently on $1 Million Worth of Game. Really good podcast. I subscribed to it and everything. I hadn't heard of it until I saw Trae Young on it. And they had a lot of little fun, and he just shared a lot. And it was a lot of heartfelt things in that podcast that he said. I felt it. And it kind of made me realize just how dedicated he can be to Atlanta and what it could mean if we could push forward and get that chip. And I got to thinking, I really believe that Atlanta has the opportunity, even as currently constructed, with the leadership of this young man and his heart and grit that he has in him. He's got that dog in him. He's really short. Sometimes he makes me mad driving to the paint, but he's not scared to go to the paint. And he's got that grit in him. And he even made a comment on the podcast that if he was 6'8", the things that he could do, he felt like he could be in that GOAT conversation because of the motor that's in him. And I can see where he's coming from. But just to hear him talk on this podcast and where he would like to go with this team, it just got me to thinking and looking at the East. I'm going to say, and I believe I've said it before, but I said it kind of jokingly, but I'm going to be really pushing and looking for my team to at least make the 6th seed this year. Now, we can look at it. We can pull up on ESPN and take a look at the Eastern teams, and it's not that many teams above that 1 through 5 that I believe, or should I say 6 through the bottom tier, that I believe could take that 6th slot from us. It's going to be tight between those that's going to get that 6th slot. And with the motor that's in Trey, I feel like we can do it. Okay, so looking at the East, right? I feel like for next season, 1 through 5 is going to be, and in no particular order, right? Boston, the Knicks, the Bucks, Philly, Orlando. I can see Orlando, right? That's going to be the top 5. Outside of that 6th spot, who's going to be fighting for that 6th spot? The Pacers, my Hawks, the Heat, depending on if Jimmy get it together, because right now him and Pat Riley ain't seeing eye to eye. I don't know what's going on. And the Bulls, depending on if they keep Zach LaVine, what is Lonzo Ball gonna look like when he comes back? So it's gonna be between those 4 teams that get that 6th spot. So I don't think it's far-fetched for us not to lock it in. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm hoping for. I believe that we have what it takes. We got just as good a chance as any of these other teams because we all got stuff going on that we got to figure out. I think the advantage that I would give probably the biggest advantage to the Pacers only because they've got Siakam, they've got Halliburton, and they've got that run that they just came off of, right? They got that, although we had it in 2021. They got their key components still in place. So they're going to be the toughest one to beat out for that 6th spot. But I believe that we can do it because my boy Trey, he is coming with a vengeance. It was just a lot of frustrations going on last season with our squad. All the injuries that we had, all the talk in the media, DeJounte Murray, all that noise that was going on. Trey can get back to being Trey this season. The dominant ball handling playmaker that he is, he can get back to that without having to worry about sharing it with anybody. Who manipulates the defense better than Trae? Nobody. His floater game, all of that he has going for him, I think that we can make it happen. Getting guys open, kicking it out to our shooters, that would be an area that we would lack in. Outside of Bogey, you got OO, JJ, Hunter, Risacher, Dyson. Yeah, they can hit the three, but how consistent can they hit the three? See, that's going to be our big if factor. You know, you're going to be open. You got to knock them down, guys. We're going to have to knock them down. But Trae was saying in that interview on $1 Million Worth of Game, he was saying, you know, how him being from OKC, right, small city, he's been taken for granted his whole life because he's short, for one, being from a small city. He's in that conversation. If you look at his skill set, he's definitely right there with the elites that's in the NBA right now. But he doesn't get that same respect. And you think about Atlanta, it's the same way for the city of Atlanta. We have not won a chip in basketball. And imagine if Trae can make that happen, right? They were talking about it on the podcast. They were laughing, but you know, it's true. Like if he can make that happen for the city of Atlanta, it would be a beautiful thing, you know, both for him and for the city. I just feel like Trae has been in his bag in terms of, you know, not holding back. And that's a true start of a leader right there. You know, even the comment that he made on Podcast P about this past draft class, that, you know, nobody really look at any of those guys no more than role players, right? And, you know, it kind of shocked me that he said it, but it lets you know that he doesn't hold his tongue. He's not biting his tongue. And when you really look at that whole lineup of draftees of that draft class, he ain't lying, you know. And hopefully that put a spark in Risacher's back and be like, hey, let me show him, you know, that I can be more than that. I could possibly be his number 2, number 3 guy, right? So, you know, I'm just liking what I'm seeing out of Trae. Every day, if you follow him on Instagram, you'll see just about every day, if not every day, every other day at least, he's posting up workouts. He's in the lab getting ready, and it's contagious because I see DD doing it, Dyson Daniels, he's doing it, JJ's doing it as well, Bogey's working out. So, you know, they're following their leader, and I just feel like that's a good sign of what we have to come this season. And also as a leader, he's very, very smart because they asked him, you know, to name the top 5 shooters of all time. And he put Bogey in that list. You know, he said, I gotta call out my teammate. I thought that was nice. That was good that he called out his teammate. Smart. In my opinion, Trae Young is a playmaking maestro. Like I said earlier, he manipulates that defense. He can get guys open. He, you know, his no-look passes, nutmegging players, all of these things to get to that rim, scoring on all levels, 3-level scorer. He's just phenomenal when he has that ball in his hand. And let's not forget about Trae with the logo threes, coming down, reading the defense, and just popping off them threes. Draining them. Pull up Trae, logo Trae, ice Trae. He's earned it all. His playmaking decisions without hesitation gives him the ability to make his players around him better. Throwing those lobs to Capella, JJ, and OO, even Risacher and Dyson Daniels. I want to say I saw highlights where they can catch lobs. So it's just probably going to be a good Lob City fest going on in the A. I was looking, it was funny because when I was looking over some highlights of Trae, I saw one where he threw up to JJ. They were playing the Pelicans, and he dunked on DD, Dyson Daniels. Sorry about that, Dyson. You're on the squad now, but wow, you got dunked on by JJ, man. Bottom line is this. Trae Young will be once again unlocked to run his offense as he sees fit. And I believe that that's going to make a world of difference for our Hawks. We shall see. Like I said, right now, if I had to pick 1 through 6, I have to give Indiana the 6th slot. But basically what I'm saying, the reason why I'm making this video is don't sleep on my Hawks. You know, we don't want another play-in. Hashtag no play-in 2025, right? We don't want to play in. We want to get that 6th slot. We want to secure and move forward from there. But anyway, that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, stay safe. On to the next one. Peace.